Hey mini enthusiasts, how are you doing? Welcome back. I hope you're well and I hope you're having a great day. So this is continuation of the part last week where I got the engine or the engine bay and the subframe back in, ready to take the engine. Today we are definitely going to be getting the engine back in, and stick around till the end of the video because we might just mock up that supercharger and see what it looks like under the engine bay. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Sit back, relax and enjoy. Right, this is literally a case of just going down inch by inch. Just don't rush it. About an inch at a time. Stop. Go and have a look. Make sure you're not snagging anything. The bits you sort of get stuck with is this nose on the end of the starter housing or wok there, and then the back of the diff casing. But once you get down to about the level we are, we're pretty much clearing everything now. Automatics are much more tricky, especially the later automatics. We are pretty much clear all around now. I'm just going to let it go at its own pace now, and just guide it in. Going a bit too slow. That's going to drop in exactly where we want it. It's where it would be ideal to have two people, but I never had the luxury of that. Right, that is the engine fully in now. So what we need to do now, I never had much of a problem getting the engine mount bolts in. They're a bit fiddly, but when everything else is off the car, it's not too bad. You will notice that the engine's at an angle at the moment, so the bolts on this side are going to be too high. We've still got a bit of tension, bit of weight being held by the crane. It's literally just a case of grab the nose cone, wiggle it around, lift it up till you get it aligned. So do one side at a time. I just lifted up that other end. If we look through here, grab a screwdriver, back through the subframe, and you can see there we've got a hole lined up. And if I move along, get the back one, the back one is just about lined up as well. The tricky bit is always getting the bolt in. If it's misaligned, obviously you're going to struggle, but if it's lined up perfectly, it should just drop straight in like that, and we can get a nut on the other end. And then we'll do the back one, then the same on that side. The other side's a little bit more difficult. Right, so again, this side I lined it up with a screwdriver first, and then if you've got some swan neck pliers like this, it's usually relatively straightforward. Or maybe not, as I drop it the first time. Let me try and do it by hand. Done that one by hand. There we go, just to prove it. And then the final one is a back one, which I'm sure will be a bit more of a struggle. It literally dropped straight in. The pliers did make it easier though. Right, there we go. It's back in. Those bolts were fine. It's probably more in technique. I've done it lots and lots and lots of times, so you know which way to twist and manipulate your fingers. So yeah, it's in. It's on the engine mounts. Nothing else connected up at the moment though. Taken the engine hook off and torqued it up. So now I need to put the crane away. I need to put the drive shafts in, and I can tighten up the front hubs. Like I say, I don't have the brakes yet because I'm probably going to fit the mini spares 4-pot calipers. I just haven't ordered them yet. And then I need to get underneath, cable tie the pop joint boots, connect up the gear lever, and it'll be interesting to make sure we've got gears. And then it is just starting to put stuff back together again. So we'll go on to time lapse again quickly. I'll just get it to the point where suspension's back on, drive shafts are in, wheels back on, gear shift connected. reckon I've lost about 3 stone today. It's just heat. It makes everything 10 times harder. So it's back in. Really pleased because it's a great milestone. I remembered to connect up the Speedo cable. Some people will probably comment and say, why didn't you run the engine up outside the engine bay, you know, check you got oil pressure and that sort of thing. Now, I completely understand doing that if you built an engine and you're shipping it off to someone and then they're going to fit it in their car. Makes perfect sense. If you've built an engine and it's going elsewhere, then yeah. But the difference between me making up a test bed, faffing around and getting that run outside the car is 2 or 3 hours. It will take me a couple of hours to put the engine in, maybe an hour to connect the ancillaries up, and then you've got the perfect test bed, which is where it's meant to be. At the end of the day, if it doesn't have oil pressure and it's got to come out again, what have you lost? 2 or 3 hours. It's really not that bad. So yeah, there's obviously still a lot to do yet. My next priority will be to connect up the clutch hydraulics to make sure the clutch is fine before we go too far. But immediate priority now is make sure we got gears. So I did check this when it was on the bench, but there's nothing like checking it for real. So we got first, neutral, second, third, fourth, and then reverse. First, second, third, fourth, reverse. Happy days, and it feels quite positive. Right, I think I'm going to have to call it quits for today because I'm absolutely knackered, but I'm pleased with the progress. It's been tough work in the hot weather, but yeah, right milestone moment. The engine is back in. So thank you everyone for tuning in this week. Thanks for your ongoing support. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed today's video, remember to give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, please do consider subscribing to the channel. All helps, and there's no tricks or catches or anything like that. Your subscription helps the channel grow, so I really appreciate it. And if you want to drop me a comment, I do read all the comments. I'll catch you again next week. Cheers.